saddle, he wore a shining star. His job to offer battle to bad men near and far. He conquered fear and he conquered hate. He turned dark night into day. He made his blazing saddle a torch to light the way. When outlaws ruled the West and fear filled the land, a cry went up for a man with guts to take the West in hand. They needed a man who was brave and true, with justice for all as his aim.
Welcome to the second annual Media Access Appreciation Awards dinner. Round of applause for everyone. I am Michael Hammond on behalf of the men of S.M.A.C, Jeffrey Piggott, Dave Young, and myself. Our distinguished board of directors. We wanted to welcome you, and before we start, we just wanted to have a moment of silence for a friend that we lost recently, Wayne Pomiansky. Such an incredible guy. I loved every second that he came into the studio and spent time with us and was on Community Forum and International Forum. So if we could have a moment of silence for Wayne, that would be great. Thank you. We are going to start off dinner in an orderly fashion. So if we can go in order with table number 1 starting, and then we'll let you know when we're ready for table number 2. That is our half of our board of directors table. So if you could direct your attention up here, ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Tom Gilmore.
Hey, Michael. Hi, guys. How are ya? Thank you for having me here. Hi, Michaela. Hi. Yeah. I'm trying to... Huh? Are you going to heckle me, Michaela? I'm just kidding. Somebody told me there's a woman here who had her tonsils removed in this room. Your sister did.
No, I don't go like this.
I'm getting bad information. What's your sister's name?
Yes, but she's gone.
Oh, thanks for bumming us all out now. That's a good way to start the comedy show, huh? Well, she's gone.
But the building's gone too, so.
Oh, but she had her tonsils removed right here.
Everybody did here.
Oh. This Obamacare is worse than we thought. Gotta go to the Knights of Columbus to get your tonsils. Well, that's nice to be here. I was traveling a little bit. I was on the West Coast. I drove to Los Angeles and back, my wife and I. Good test of a marriage, by the way. I wanted to fly out west. My wife said, no, let's drive. I want to see a little bit of the country. Oh, yeah, when you're driving through Iowa, Nebraska, you pretty much want to keep that camera right on the seat beside you at all times. Every 1,000 miles or so brings another unique photo opportunity. I don't know, whenever I buy a new car, I'm always looking for the cheapest one I can find. You know you're buying a cheap car, too. When the ads on TV all compare it to the car you wish you were buying. You know what I mean? They just pick some stupid feature and make it sound like the biggest deal in the world. The all-new Ford Focus has the same sized hood ornament as a Lincoln Town Car. Our see-through windshield provides the same visibility as a Lexus. Something about these Volvos really bothers me. If these cars get any safer, they'll actually increase your longevity. Pretty soon there'll be a guy there, yes, thanks to the Volvo standard equipment, I can check my blood pressure, monitor my cholesterol, and receive a complete prostate exam on my way to work. And thanks to the Nordic Track front seat, I'm actually toning my buttocks while I drive. You know what else I hate about the new cars is that fake spare. You know, you spend all this money on a brand new car, and then the first time you get a flat, you find out your spare tires, this hard piece of plastic about a third the size of all the other tires. It kind of makes you wonder what that airbag must look like, doesn't it? Probably have to blow this thing up yourself. I always thought English teachers were the worst ones, though, the fussiest people, because they taught you all that stuff like grammar and sentence structure, but the worst word to an English teacher was always the word kid. They hate that. Remember you find something outside, you find a hat, you bring it in, you think you're doing somebody a favor, excuse me, some kid left his hat, it's like, I beg your pardon? We don't have any kids in here, just children. Only goats have kids. Well, you must be the old goat I wanted to talk to about this hat that I found outside. They wouldn't teach how to spell in English either, I couldn't figure that out, you know. My father taught me how to spell. Only when he was upset, you know. Dad, can I spell that? No, it's what that. No. N-O. No. Ooh, shooting over again, huh, Dad? That was my father's favorite word. He not only taught me how to spell it, he'd define it for me, too. It's like, I said no, and I mean it. No means no. Oh, you're a brilliant man, Dad. My mother would always say, what part of no don't you understand? Well, the part where I don't get to do what I want, basically. Didn't take much to set my mother off, boy. All I had to do was walk into a room. It's like, will you stop traipsing through this house? Traipsing? I never even heard of the word before. Of course, if I came in late, it's what time did you come waltzing in? I don't know. I traipsed out about 7:30. I don't know what time I finally waltzed back in again. And where were you? Out gallivanting? Certain words like that only mothers use. And conniption's another one. My mother was always going to die of a conniption. And she's still around, so apparently it didn't work out. She'd get so mad. Sometimes, not only didn't I know why she was mad, I didn't even know what she was talking about. Like, I don't really know what gall is, but according to her, I had a lot of it. Which doesn't seem possible since I was already full of malarkey. Now, whenever I didn't get good grades, my father would pick another boy in the neighborhood who was perfect, and then compare me to him. You know, he would get on report cards, look at my marks, go, if Bobby Sullivan can get straight A's, so can you. It isn't true. It isn't fair, you know. I just wanted to say, Dad, if the Rockefellers can make millions of dollars, so can you. What are we doing living in this dump? Well, I said I wanted to say that. I didn't actually say that. I wouldn't be alive if I said that, you know. You couldn't even ask for anything in my house. You're being extravagant or I don't know what it is. You know, I just asked something, do you want us to wind up in the poorhouse? Huh, I thought this was it. You mean it gets worse? I didn't think that was possible. You couldn't ask for anything when you were out either. That would always start an argument, right? You just ask for some little thing, you know, can I have an ice cream? We have ice cream at home. But we're not at home, are we? What kind of logic is that? You don't walk into a restaurant, would you like to see a menu? No, thank you, I have food at home. I think just doing without things was supposed to be good for you. Everything I did pushed us one step closer to financial ruin. I'd leave a light on in my room, turn that off. We don't own stock in the electric company. We don't own stock in anything. You blow it all on scratch tickets and white Russians. My mother's biggest threat was, I hope you have a child just like you someday. I hope I do. Oh, wait till he's really whacked out and say, come on, let's go over to Grandma's house. working on the cruise ships this year. I was on Carnival Cruise Lines. Not that one. I guess we know where the poop deck is, huh? Wow. I had a nice time on the ones I was on, you know. I always think the idea of taking a cruise sounds very relaxing and romantic, but one of the first things they do when you get on board is have a lifeboat drill. I've noticed they always have the lifeboat drill immediately following the bon voyage party. That's good timing, huh? Like, yeah, we have a few safety precautions that could save your lives, but what do you say we all get liquored up before we get started? Whenever I'm trying to absorb some life-saving information, I like to have a few pops in me. The whole concept of safety is different on a ship. You know what's very popular on these things? Skeet shooting. I mean, you go to the airport, they x-ray your luggage, they check you for weapons. You're on a cruise ship, give some guy a sawbuck and they hand you a loaded shotgun. Here you go, Sahib. It's already loaded and the hostages are on deck 6. I had no idea how big some of these ships are. I was on this one ship, the Majesty, 4,200 passengers on this thing. I mean, the population of this ship was bigger than most of the places we stopped at. We could probably swing an election if we wanted to. That'd impress your neighbors, wouldn't it? And not only did we take a cruise this year, but Bill's the new Prime Minister of Barbados. I think the big attraction on cruise ships, though, is really the food, you know, because you eat all the time. You have the morning brunch, the afternoon snack, the midnight buffet. I thought it was kind of odd that they serve so much food on a vehicle that stimulates vomiting just by moving. People always assume they're seasick on these things. Hey, maybe it's the 15 meals we had today. I found out some people travel by ship because they have a fear of flying. But I'll tell you something. You haven't experienced real terror till you try traveling by bus. First of all, why is the bus station always in the worst part of town? You know, you ask somebody for directions to the airport, it's like, well, you take the expressway to Airport Road, and it's past the Hyatt Regency on the right-hand side. That's why they get to a bus station. It was just something like, you know where that crack dealer stabbed the guy the other day? Across the street, next to the Pussycat Lounge. I mean, as far as flying goes, takeoffs and landings make people nervous, but once you're in the air, it's all right. But the bus, every step of the journey is frightening. And they don't give you those little extra things either, you know? Like on the plane, the stewardess will bring you a pillow if you want to go to sleep. If you see somebody carrying a pillow on a bus, it's either going to be used as a crude silencer or to suffocate a potential witness. Of course, you don't need a pillow to sleep on the bus. The fumes make you pass out immediately. It's reviving people that takes time. They always advertise the bus, too, like we're going to take it on vacation, you know? They have these slogans like, take the bus, leave the driving to us. We don't take the bus on vacation. We take the bus out of pure desperation. I think that's how they should gear their advertising. You know, been getting creative with the books at work, co-workers getting suspicious. Non-stop service to Guadalajara, Mexico could be just the ticket you're looking for. Go Greyhound, because it's not where you're going that matters, it's what you're running away from. A brother like mine, to save money when I was a kid, she never bought my clothes to fit me that year. Especially, but like for the next 3 or 4 years in a row. You know, it was like, he'll get more than one season out of these type of thing. And your pants were especially easy to buy, right? As long as the waist was about right, it didn't really matter how long they were. We'll just hem those up for you. Oh yeah, nothing much better than an 8-inch hem. Give you plenty of room to grow in. Of course, then when you did grow, she'd just set the hem down, and every time she did, you get a nice white ring at the bottom of your pants, remember that? That's how they charted my growth as a kid. You've got 3 rings, you're really shooting up there. You're gonna be a 6-footer. You take pride in your height for some reason. never 6 feet tall. I'm like 5'8". I'm lucky if I'm still that tall, because you shrink as you get older. You ever notice your older relatives keep getting smaller and smaller? I had an aunt that lived to be 3'9". My mother had weird things. So, like, if she lost something around the house, she wouldn't go look for it like a normal person. She'd pretend to be the thing that she lost. If my mother lost a spoon, she'd stand in the middle of the kitchen and go, "Now, if I were a spoon, where would I be?" "You're scaring the hell out of me now, Ma." You know, I say, "If I told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. I've talked and talked until I'm blue in the face." I said, "Hey, Ma, if you didn't say it 1,000 times, maybe you wouldn't be blue in the face." I said mothers and fathers had a completely different approach, too, about getting engaged. Because fathers at least were easy to understand. It was a direct threat, you know. With mothers, it was more of a guilt thing. You know, it's like, "We don't ask you to do very much around here." Well, you can only say that 20 times in one day before you're wised up and say, "Yes, you do. You ask me every 5 minutes." "Well, you're younger than I am." Thanks a lot, you guys. I had a nice time. I hope you had a few laughs. See you again soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom. Round of applause for Tom Gilmore. All right, we have desserts coming out, and something a lot of you probably dread, Dave Young's bloopers. We have Dave put together a video, and I have purposely tried to not watch it because every time I walked through the room I was in hysterics. But we're going to show a little bit of that, and the producers and the board of directors are all going home with a copy that you can watch at home. So we'll get some desserts going and then start the video. All right, we're going to start with the certificates first. We have many certificates for people who have done different things at Stoughton Media Access. First we have, let's see, I'll just grab them randomly, Walter Parsley. We'll save the speeches for the Grand Producer Awards. Gary Rosenberg, host of Freedom Network. Thank you, Gary. Gary did eventually learn how to use the clock. Frank T. Walsh, who, in addition to hosting Talking Tunes and co-hosting Sports Wrap, he runs cameras for the Hidden Treehouse and helps out in many different ways. Frank Walsh. This person finds new problems that have never arisen before. I don't know how he does it. Henry Gravel. And also helps out in many different ways as well. Robert Conley is a co-host of Public Praise. He's not here tonight, but we'll have the Hendricks family take that home for him. Roy Cohen, in addition to producing Community Forum and International Forum, he also directs Shirley Show, which she shoots at Stoughton Media Access.
Shirley Show.
I think this is our newest producer who's, I don't know if you've caught it, Public Praise is a really great show. Entertaining, informative, Michael Hendricks. And of course, that show would not be possible without his lovely wife, Diva. Diva is one of the hosts of the show. We'd like to call this woman Kelikalana. Kelly Carrara, host of The Hidden Treehouse, occasional host of Community Forum. She's learning how to edit as well. Pick one. This person is only known as the lovely Laura to me. Laura Walsh. Laura helps out with cameras on The Hidden Treehouse. She has occasionally directed Talking Tunes and jumps in when we need her as well. This person has more ideas than anyone I know. Talk to her for 10 minutes and she would change the entire station. She has so many fantastic ideas, and I know that you will see them very soon. Roxanne Morris. Roxanne also has been running cameras for Sports Route. Hardest working man in show business with Stoughton Time Machine, Freedom Network, SOB TV, and more in the works. Tim Corkum. The tallest man in show business. Paul Smith. Paul co-hosts It's My Perspective with Dave Young. They have great chemistry and they're really fun to watch. I'm using in the booth cracking up. Because of things like that. He also produces Article 12 and Jack the Cat and a bunch of other different shows. Next up we have Shirley Farber. Chez Papo comme Shirley. Which I found out means chit chat. This is probably the most independent person that we have at the studio, who comes in, does his thing, edits it. We don't really hear much about anything that goes on. He just hands us a finished product. Senor Tom Valentin. Tom is not going to give me a kiss, which I thanked him for. This person is a ray of sunshine. He's the happiest person who ever sets foot in the studio. Steve Kelly. Host of Community Forum. You don't have to compliment me when you take your award. Co-host of Talking Tunes, the lovely Michaela Morrissey. Michaela does 2 shows a day. She does an entire show before she gets in front of the camera, and then the actual show. We actually wish we'd take both of them. They're so funny.
Okay, that's gonna be so ready. They like me. They really like me. Can I show us Kelly?
Yeah. Our next award, this is a wonder to behold, actually. Very few people have seen what goes on behind the scenes when the selectmen meeting airs live. But Eric is just moving and moving. He is clicking things. He never sits still. It just goes and goes and goes. And then occasionally you'll see him sneak by and change a battery. Steve always points him out. He's like, there he goes. He's changing the battery. Eric Stankiewicz. All right, our next award demonstrates the importance of an RSVP. Peggy Sewick. For a certificate, it's at the ski year. Peggy has Alan Mills' favorite show. Every single time I see him, he says, you know, you need to air Teddy Bear Story Hour more. That's an IOU. Congratulations, everyone. All right. Steve and I have a few additional awards. The S.M.A.Cs. You may know the winner based on the title. The Blooper Award.
Let's see. We have Mike Victor, Frank Walsh, Tim Corkum, and the winner is Roy Cohen.
Come on down, Roy.
A common phrase when Roy's directing a show. Do I press this? And then you hear, no! Okay. What the hell is airing? This goes something like this. Bring, bring. Stoughton Media Access. What the hell is airing?
Okay, we have Paul Smith, Dave Young, and Henry Gravel. The winner is Henry Gravel.
Someone in this room made that phone call. I'm not saying who. Best hair and makeup.
Oh. Best hair and makeup. Me. Dima, Frank Walsh, Mike Wigdor. And the winner is Shirley.
Best dancer as well. Best one-liners. Dave Young, Frank Walsh, and the winner is
Paul Smith.
sorry, Dave. The Rendering Award.
Mike and Dima Hendricks, Henry Gravel, and Stanley Capaneros. There's no winner.
Stanley Cabaneros is clearly the winner.
Stanley is the winner.
He's like, you have to try Sony Vegas software. You render for 27 hours. It looks beautiful.
Next category.
If I had paid attention, I could have been rich.
Okay, we have Stanley Capaneros, Cody Corkum, and Rick Sinnott. The winner is Rick Sinnott.
Rick said that if people paid attention to his predictions, they could be rich. Just saying. Largest cast, crew, and entourage.
We have Mike and Dima Hendricks, Shirley Faber, and Roy Cohen. The winner is Mike and Dima Hendricks.
It was close, but they definitely win. Smoking Gun Award.
We have Paul Smith, Rick Sinnott, and Tim Corkum, and the winner is Tim Corkum.
Best exotic name. Kelly Carrara.
Paul Smith.
And the winner is...
El Presidente. Toporazzo.
Tom overthrew Roy as the president of the team of producers, sort of. So we decided that he was El Presidente.
I'll let you read it.
The Cristar Pino Video Vanguard Award of Excellence.
The producers are Jim Corkum, Stanley Carbonaris, Mike Hendricks, and Frank Walsh. The winner is Frank Walsh.
The history of that award is Cristar Pino comes in and he's like a tornado, and Frank just comes right out and stands up to him, and like they just go toe to toe for like 20 minutes. Very funny. It's on video. The perfect timing award.
Okay. Producers are Roy Cohen, Frank Walsh, and Mike Wigdor, and the winner is Mike Wigdor.
They did a promo for S.M.A.C where they were trying to do this thing, perfect timing. It was like an episode of Who's on First. It just went on and on. It was very funny. The Shelby Scott Award. Do you remember Shelby Scott? She was always in snowstorms reporting.
We have producers Walter Parsley, Henry Gravel, and Roy Cohen, and the winner is Walter.
For his Let's Talk Golf episode. Alright, let's get real here now, okay? There has been much discussion around the studio about what order would the awards be given out in. We tried alphabetical, we tried oldest to youngest, we tried handsomest to not so much. We tried everything under the sun. So we consulted the Massachusetts State Lottery, and we came up with a very sophisticated process. Extremely. Okay. First producer award of the evening goes to...
Frank T. Walsh.
I have to find it. Found it. Frank is the host of Talking Tunes, Sports Rap. He has a new show called Talking S.M.A.C. He's the grandfather of the lovely Michaela, who refers to him as Fra Fra. Frank, Fra Fra.
Oh, say a few words. Oh, wow.
Say something.
All right. I was born in a small town. No. I consider it an honor here. I haven't changed anything this year that I did not say last year. This is an incredible place to be, with incredible people, helpful, there when you need them, and it's been in some ways kind of a difficult year or so for me, and without S.M.A.C, and without my friends, and without a lot of the people in this room, I would have had a hard time getting through it. So, for everybody who knows about that, thank you very much. Rick Sinnott.
Rick is the producer of Pro Football Forecast, which will make everyone in this room rich, apparently. Take it away.
Apparently you guys forgot that also in this year I hosted
sit-down stand-up and the movie guys, but I'll just take the one, that's fine. One award is fine, yes, thank you.
You'd only get one anyway.
I'd only get one. I only need one. Thank you to everybody that watches the show. I appreciate all the people that come up to me on the road and tell me how the hell did I get that right? Like, why the hell would you pick Oakland over Pittsburgh and they win? That's why I have a show. Thank you, everybody. Your show had to air from the time of last year's awards to now. That's why the other ones weren't in contention. Just a little disclaimer. We didn't slight anyone.
No.
January, that was last year. The next recipient is Walter Parsley. Walter is the producer and host of Let's Talk Real Estate and Let's Talk Golf, along with Sinuous Opener.
Well, Stoughton's such a wonderful community. We should be very proud of our community. And no one does a better job promoting Stoughton than S.M.A.C, in my opinion. We often say to people, you don't appreciate Stoughton until you move in. And it's so vibrant and active and so forth. But the thing I want to do is thank S.M.A.C for all the support and the help we've gotten with our programs. Tom and I have had a lot of fun doing it. I couldn't do it without Tom because Dave helped me with editing and so forth. I haven't edited one show. Tom does it all. It's fortunate for me to have a former wedding photographer in my team, and he does a great job. So, far be it from me to try to get even with Dave Young for the bloopers and all the other things you do. But the last time I saw Mohegan was in high school, and Richard Fontanarosa came into class, and at that time it was Arthur Panani who was assistant principal, and he threw out Richie Fontanarosa for wearing his Mohegan. He said, you get out of here and don't come back to class until you have something covering your head. Well, an hour later, Richie Fontanarosa come back with a big sombrero. Arthur Panani said, get out of here. That is something you do. But anyway, we want to thank you so much, and thanks, Mac. Thank you, Tom.
Roy Cohen. Roy is the producer of Community Forum, International Forum, the new Hidden Treehouse children's show. He helps direct Shirley's show every other month at Stoughton Media Access. And you probably have more things going on.
No, there's a lot of things going on. All I have to say is what a difference between this year and last year. Last year was all getting underway. This year there were a lot of changes, and those changes were really very important, very beneficial to the station. And to my left are the two guys that really make it happen. The bloopers are going to cause me to put out applications for new hosts. And I have to say, in all honesty, that without the skills that Mike Hammond has displayed and offered and stuff, never would be able to do, never would have wanted to do all the shows that I'm involved with, and push people like Shirley to make hers a little bit better, and she's happier now. It's a lot of fun. I spend Thursdays, which is my off day, more stressed than I do with the rest of the week, but the end result is worth it. The shows are great. Guys like Joe Feaster, who's come on board, doing a great job. He shakes hands with the president and then comes down to S.M.A.C and shakes hands with Roy, and that's to me a big honor. And on the sad side, unfortunately, one of, and I'm sure you may have heard, if you haven't heard, Wayne Pomiansky passed away about 3 weeks ago, and he was a lifelong friend of mine, and it really breaks my heart. I almost started when I saw his image on the screen tonight. It was very unfortunate what happened to him. He added an awful lot to the show. he made it easier to interview the ambassador. If you've watched the show, we've had, even most recently, we had Joe do the show with the Israeli ambassador. We've done about 7 shows, and those shows are dynamite. You got a guy over there in Jerusalem who's really very opinionated in a positive way, and Wing did a great job with it, and also some of the other shows. But I appreciate having you guys to work with. If it wasn't for you, I probably would have been sleeping on Thursday mornings instead. But yes, not with you. Alone. But I thank you very, very much, and looking forward to bigger and better next year. Thank you. Henry Gavell.
Henry is the producer of Playhouse Theater. Actually, why don't you explain how that kind of works? Because Henry writes and directs segments of the show, and then explain the next piece.
Well, I have a lot of friends, video people, and filmmakers who submit to me, and I put it all together and put the show together. But, you know, this is very nice to have your work appreciated and acknowledged, but if it wasn't for these two guys, like Roy said, it would never happen. We wouldn't even be here, so thank you guys. You know. Mike Hendricks.
Mike Hendricks is the producer of Public Praise, and he's on fire. He's banging out a show every week. It's a half-hour great show. His editing is fantastic and exciting. He had a singer on recently who looked like they were at the Boston Garden, but they were in the S.M.A.C studio. It was fantastic.
Wow. I missed the last award show. I was like, I want one of these, man. I just want to thank my lovely, well, first of all, thank God. This is what our show's all about. Thank God for everything we do. My lovely wife, our intern, Jessica. Her to brand new stuff. So our show, we just do a lot of this great things. We talk about what people are doing in the community, but what they're doing for God as well too. So thank you guys so much. I thought I had a lot to say, but I don't. Okay. And so yeah, so thank you so much. Where's Mr. Smith at? Paul Smith.
Paul Smith.
Look happy, Paul. Paul is the producer of Article 12, as well as many other shows, and probably more to come, I'm sure, and co-host of It's My Perspective with Dave.
I want to thank the Academy. And these guys really make it happen. You know, we couldn't do it without them. Anybody else who satisfied me, I might as well too.
Mike Wigdor. Mike is the host and producer of Sports Rap.
I wanted to thank the Academy too. Stole that one from me. I have to continue from where I was from last year when I got the first award, and I just think I had a whole year of growth in our show, and our show has become more professional. I have a ways to go in learning more editing and trying to get my graphics up and do more stuff, and I know that, and I intend to do that, and I intend to try to help out more also with the S.M.A.C, because I think S.M.A.C is just a great place. It's just a great place to learn, a great place to work and to develop the show. And thank God for you, because you pushed me a few times. I mean, there's one show we did where you said, Mike, are you ready? And I go, I'm not sure. And he goes, you say, sink or swim, Mike, it's now or never. So as soon as I heard you, I did it. Mike has been a great director for our show. Our show has gotten better. Roxanne helping out also. Dave helps out occasionally. and Laura. And I mean, Frank and I have just developed really good chemistry. Jeff was on also as on the World Series. He's a big sports fan. He's also the program director. We'll have him on again. We'll try to get a few other guests. We like to try to make our show a little bit different, though. We don't want to necessarily make it just a straight sports show. We like to try to come up with a little bit of a shtick here and there and try to be a little different. And that's the fun of it, I think, is trying to make something different from week to week. So we really like it. We really enjoy it. We love it. And we love being around these guys as well. And they do a great job for us. Thank you. Tim Corkum. The man.
Tim is the producer of the Freedom Network, SOB, which stands for South of Boston TV, the Stoughton Time Machine, and more things in the works, I hear.
I'd like to thank you too. Gary for the help in the show, Dave Lambert, Cody.
Management anyway. Some people like to be behind the camera. Shirley Barber. Shirley's theme song for Bache Papo Come Shirley starts with like a ding, and we'll be having like a sluggish day. We're walking down the hallway. All of a sudden, our show comes on. It's like ding, da 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 da. Shirley is the host and producer and director of Bache Papo Come Shirley.
I would like to thank, as Roy said, the changes that were made this year were really good, and thank you two guys. I come every two months. I come to Stoughton to film. I don't know if you guys know, but we're putting Stoughton on the map in 5 different states. This TV show is taped out of Stoughton, and is seen in 500 cities around the country. So in the beginning of the year was picked up by Comcast On Demand to be seen in 5 states. So actually, in the beginning of the show, I say this is a TV show in Portuguese, produced in Stoughton. So we're actually putting S.M.A.C and Stoughton on the map in 5 different states around the country. And I'm happy that this is a town with a very large Portuguese population, and we have one TV show in Portuguese for more than 8 years. I started this TV show in other location, and things are only getting better. And this month, Mike produced the opening of the show, so now it's really getting very professional. And we have guests coming from other states, and we have politicians that always want to come. So they're actually coming. Just last month, maybe the future governor, Steve Grossman, came to my TV show, and I think it's very important because sometimes we hear politicians talking about other towns, and they don't even know where Stoughton. They never come. I've never seen the actual governor here in Stoughton. So to have a politician that is running for governor come to our town to tape a show and to talk to our population here, I think it's very important. Thanks to S.M.A.C that we actually have a studio here and able to film a professional show. So I'd like to thank everybody that keeps this station going on. Thank you.
Shirley's on episode 156, I think you just did, right? 156.
Oh, 8 years. 2005. Tom Mellison.
Oh, Mellison. Tom is the producer of Let's Talk Real Estate and Let's Talk Golf, and the president of the board of producers and things like that. Something like that. We need an official title for you.
I want to thank Folda for helping co-produce this show as well. I want to thank our wives for allowing us to sneak away to get it done. And just I want to say thank you.
Okay. In the tradition of not wanting to prefer to be behind the camera, Cody Corkum, he's put on a few shows for us. Kiss My Axe music show. Axe is a guitar, another name for guitar. And he's working on a show with comedians. He had a great stage set up, and it looks really nice, so he's working on a comic show too as well. Cody Corkum. Stanley Capernaros couldn't be here tonight. He produces Teddy Bear Story Hour, and he works on a lot of music shows at the studio. Unfortunately, his father passed away this week, and he's not able to be here tonight. He didn't really want to make too big of a deal about that, but if you happen to see him, just offer your condolences. The next award, this person said, "I'm not here for the notoriety. I'm not here for awards. I'm just here to help out." But I thought that he should have an award because he is phenomenal. He's an incredible asset to S.M.A.C. He works incredibly hard, and this is for Dave Young.
Thank you. I want to thank S.M.A.C for being there so I can be creative. I hope to be more creative. My hope is to inspire all the other producers to reach beyond where they are, to achieve as much excellence as they have. Because I know there's a lot inside that we can use, and I just hope that they take advantage of it. Thank you very much.
Okay, I have one more IOU prize. One of my absolute favorite people who I am so excited to see every Thursday morning, who runs the cameras for Community Forum. I think what happened was we had an assembly line for these awards, and we were passing them down and signing them. I think one must have gotten stuck inside, so I think Leo McGowan's award is in someone else's frame, but this is for Leo McGowan. An official IOU. Leo knows how to run the clock. We worked as a team and figured that out.
As they say, they always save the best for last. I think that holds true. But I just want to say it's a pleasure to go down every Thursday morning and work with Roy and, of course, Mike and Steve. I mean, Dave. Where's Dave? And now we have Jeff Pickett. During the course of running the shows Thursday mornings, we've run into the different producers, and it's been a pleasure working with all of you guys, or even just talking, having a bagel. I just want to say thank you, Mike, and David. Where's David over there? All right, thank you, S.M.A.C. Yeah, we met a long time ago, didn't we? Thank you very much, and have a nice evening.
So speaking of Mr. Jeff Pickett, this man is phenomenal. He has come in and he's off and running and taping all kinds of things around Stoughton. You've probably seen clips of football games, and he's just got a lot in the works. He ran out while the comedian was on to interview the football team because they won. He has proved already to be an incredible asset to the station, and I am really excited to see everything that he is going to do in the future.
So I didn't have a speech prepared tonight, but no, I'm kidding.
I just want to thank everybody for my first month and a half or so here. Everybody's been so welcoming. It's such a warm and friendly place to come every single day and interact with so many different people. And, you know, between the board, the different producers, Mike and Dave every day, it's just it's a place that you want to go to. And I couldn't, you know, be happier with the decision to come here and hopefully do some great things for S.M.A.C down the road and currently. And so I just want to thank you guys, and I'm rambling. So thank you.
So, like Leo said, you always save the best for last. And what would S.M.A.C be without its rising stars? So we have a little clip of that rising star.
Welcome to Talking Tunes. I'm Michaela.
We have a special plaque for you. And let me read what Fra wrote about you. Frank wrote this about Michaela. She glows as bright as sunshine. The camera loves her smile. Whenever she is on the screen, you cannot touch the dial. She is everyone's Michaela, loved from near and far. Her future knows no limits. She's our little rising star. Michaela, would you like to make a speech?
Yeah. Alright, that's gonna be ready.
Where are you going to put your award?
I'm gonna put it on Nanny's. Yeah.
Very good. Here you go. Now you can sing.
They like me. They really like me.
Thank you very much for everyone who worked really hard to make this night possible, to the board of directors. Thank you to everyone who came here tonight and who works hard to produce all the great programming that we air on S.M.A.C. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
What was his name? He rode a blazing saddle. He wore a shining star. His job to offer battle to bad men near and far. He conquered fear and he conquered hate. He turned dark night